Hey, everybody. It is Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. And I am your host, Bob Benham. Welcome to a new episode. And let's just jump right into it. I got to say, I can't wrap my head around why I'm going to call them Democrats from now on, or Dixiecrats, just whatever, because how is it possible that these idiots will stand up for a gang member that's been deported to El Salvador? Okay. Now, supposedly, this was uh, according to the Trump administration, it was a mistake. It shouldn't have happened. I'm not sure how it was a mistake. It just doesn't make sense. The whole thing is it just doesn't make sense, okay? But he doesn't belong in the country. He's an illegal alien. He's been here for however many years. Is married, got kids, whatever, and he's just not supposed to be here. He's a member of MS-13. He's got the tattoo on his hands, and he has been allegedly involved in trafficking of people across the United States. Um, Now, this guy shouldn't be here at all. He should have been booted a long time ago. Somehow he claimed asylum or something like that, or some garbage. And so he was allowed to stay on some kind of hold or so whatever. And supposedly that's how the mix up happened and he got deported by accident. Now he's being held, or was at least was being held in an El Salvadoran prison, which I read somewhere that I think that he's been moved. Obviously, it's all political. Um, I I just don't understand. The guy should be in the prison. The guy is obviously a. I mean, put him away. Do whatever you got to do. The guy is a gang member, gang banger. Just put him away. Um, if Salvador does not want to release him back to the United States, so be it. What kills me is how our courts are saying, hey, you got to get that guy back here. What? This is an illegal alien who has no rights in this country. No rights. And they're saying, yeah, you need to bring him back because he was mistakenly sent out. No. No. I don't think so. This is where things are so messed up. Now they're going so far as to say, oh, well, President Trump, you're not allowed to send any Aragua gang members back. You're not allowed to send any MS-13 back unless they've had their day in court. had their day in court and had their due process. They're not entitled to this stuff. They're not United States citizens. They're not entitled to it. They're illegal immigrants. They get caught, they get put on a plane or a bus or whatever and sent back across the border. Period. End of story. This is insane what our political system is doing. Our politicians, and the funny thing is, this is the thing about it all, the Democrats are all for this. Why? It's because they're watching their voters go back. They're the ones that brought them all in. This is the reason why the border was open, was to bring all these people in for votes. So they would have perpetual power. They will tell you anything else and lie straight to your face. But the reason they brought these people in was for votes and perpetual power. Because that's why they're pushing the no voter ID, no voter ID, just go in and vote, all that garbage. This is the reason. This is the reason. It's not hard to figure out. It's easy to stop this crap. Pass the voter ID law. Make it where you walk in and you want to vote, you have to show your driver's license or state ID card. One of the two. It's not hard to get one. Many states will give you a state ID card for free just to go ahead, use it to go vote. If you want Medicaid or any of the special assistance that the states or the federal government gives away, you have to have ID card anyway. So why not? I mean, for crying out loud, it's not hard to get one. And and so this whole argument of, well, it's racist to make the minorities have to go get an ID card. They already have it. They already have one. If they collect anything from the government or have any, they already have one. It's mandated to get their government benefits. And trust me, they all get government benefits. It's ridiculous how many of them get government benefits. I know. I worked the hood. I worked it for 7.5 years. They're waiting for the first of the month for them checks. And they got to have ID to cash the doggone checks. So this whole argument of this, oh well, they don't have an ID card. They baloney, bull crap. They have the ID. So pass the voter ID law. You want to vote, you got to have an ID card. A state-issued ID card or driver's license. Period. End of story. It's over. Pass that law, it's done. That way, you walk up. I mean, here in Ohio, You have to show your ID to vote. I do it all the time. For every election, I walk up. "Hey, here's my driver's license. I hand it to them. They look it up. Oh yeah, you're registered. Here's your ballot. It's not hard. It's no big deal. The Democrats just want to make it difficult. That's their whole point. They want to make it sound like it's, oh well, we gotta make it a race issue, just like they do with everything anymore. Everything's a race issue. Everything. I'm so damn tired of hearing, oh, you're just a racist. Oh, you're a Nazi. Blah, blah, blah. You're a fascist. You support Trump, so you're a fascist. No, I'm not. Furthest thing from the truth. The only thing that I support is the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the only thing I support. I've sworn an oath to it twice. Once when I went in the Navy, and once when I became a police officer. So, hey, and I've taken those oaths so seriously, and I still live by them. That Constitution is everything. Everything. It is designed to limit the government, not to limit us. We need to get back to that. We've lost the vision, and we've lost track of it. We've allowed these idiot politicians to just go ahead and do whatever they want. It is time to bring the Constitution back to the forefront, which means it limits the government. It's that simple. And these judges in these courts, when did it become normal to be an activist as a judge? You're supposed to, the only thing that a judge is supposed to do is rule whether or not a law or case is in violation of the Constitution of the United States. That's all they're supposed to do. Did that person do something against the law that was written by the legislature? And is that law in violation of the Constitution? That's what their job is. That's what the judge's job is. It's not to become an activist and put a hold on whatever because they say that this is, well, we got to put a hold on this because we need to stop this practice from happening. That's not their job. And I don't know if many people are aware of this or not, but anybody can serve on the Supreme Court. Anybody. It does not have to be a prior judge or an attorney. A normal, everyday citizen can be appointed to the Supreme Court. I wonder why they allowed that to happen. I don't think a normal citizen has ever been appointed to the Supreme Court, but it is allowable. Why won't they do it? Oh, maybe it's because the normal citizen will do a better job than these doggone attorneys and former judges that are activists. Hmm, that makes sense. Ugh. You're sitting there listening to these morons speaking, how in these supposed confirmation hearings and stuff that they gotta have for these judges or people that are being confirmed for the Supreme Court, and they're asking them about their previous uh, decisions and rulings and blah blah blah. Just sit there, just put somebody on the Supreme Court that doesn't have any of that. That has none of that. Just appoint a normal person, an everyday U.S. citizen. It's not hard. There's just so much about our nation that is backward right now. And the really sad part about it is I'm not seeing anything from the Trump administration that's fixing the wrongs of the Biden administration, especially against police departments. All these consent decrees against the police departments. He should have, day one, told the DOJ, drop them. You go into court and you say, with all these consent decrees, we're dismissing them. We don't need them. They're for lack of evidence, because it's exactly correct. There is no evidence of that stuff occurring. It's all made up because you could read every single one of those consent decrees and they read identically, except for the fact that the name of the city and a few numbers are different. That is it. You know how I know? Because the DOJ tried to come in and force the city of Columbus to go under a consent decree. And we fought them and said, not happening. Our chief of police at the time, wonderful, wonderful man, pro police officer, told them to get the F out because there are investigations, supposed investigations, that said that we had a pattern or practice of being um, racist and violating the Constitution and people's constitutional rights and blah 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 blah, was based on like 30 something cases that happened over the course of 5 or 6 years. And over the course of those 5 or 6 years, the police department had handled like 5 million runs. And that's a 30 something cases as a pattern or practice out of that many runs. Get real. And so our union and the police officers and even the suburban police departments said, no, we're fighting this. And we had, I forget how much extra money per pay taken out to pay for the attorneys and fight this. And we fought the Department of Justice and we won. We won. And it was so funny because right when this was under Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton. And then when President George Bush came into office, the first thing he did was tell the DOJ to drop all the consent decrees against police departments across the United States. Dropped them all. Then what happened? Oh, let's see. President Barack Obama came into office, and then all of a sudden, all these consent decrees and all these DOJ lawsuits were filed against police departments all across the United States, all over again. And it's all false. It's a political ploy to get the federal government to take over a police department. There's no reason for a federal government to oversee a local police department. Absolutely zero reason. The federal government has absolutely zero reason to be overseeing a local police department. That's the job of that city. The mayor is the voted in person to oversee its police department. The Department of Justice and the President of the United States, they have nothing to do with overlooking a police department. Nothing. They can make up all the crap they want. It's not their job. But the Democrats, they got to create chaos where there is no chaos. That's when you have less than 1/10 of 1% of a job classification, in this case police officers, that are bad, considered bad. Less than 1/10 of 1%. When you got priests, lawyers, doctors that are around 10% that are bad. And you're going to just focus right in on the police. Why? Because we're easy targets. It's all, I mean, that's all it is. A police officer makes an arrest. Anytime a police officer makes an arrest, it does not look good. It will never look good. A police officer putting his hands on another person to place handcuffs on them does not look good. Never will. Never has, never will. And then if the person fails to comply with the officer's orders, lawful orders at that, and decides, well, I'm resisting, I'm not going to do what the officer says, and decides to fight, now it's going to look really, really bad. I mean, really bad. Just not, I mean, that's just how it is. That's the optics of the job. You're never going to look good fighting somebody and having to put them down to place them under arrest. It just does not look good. Especially when they actively resist you. You know, it just takes one word: comply. You know, you comply. The officer does what he's supposed to do. You end up being handcuffed, placed in the back of the car, taken down to jail, and ending up getting your bond and getting out, going home, and getting your court date. And then you take everything to court. You decide to fight it in court, or, take your plea deal to a lesser charge or whatever. That's your choice. That's what the system's for. That's why the system's in place. It's not difficult. But, here back to the illegals. The Democrats purposefully let all these people in. Just let them all in. They've been circulating this 11 million illegals number since 1980. I remember it back then. 11 million since 1980? No, it's a whole lot more than that. Okay, I know it's probably at least 30 million, at least. Biden let in at least 20 million over the last 4 years that he was in office. 20 million came across that border. I mean, you look at the video, the pictures and everything, they were all over it, and they were just walking right in, ripping down the concertina wire. They were just I mean, it was an invasion, folks, and that's exactly what it was an invasion. If they had on uniforms and weapons, it would have been a whole different story. But we just let them in. We should have our people should have just be, became a militia, went down to that border and stopped them cold. That's what we should have done. We had the authority to do it under the Constitution, but we didn't. And now we got all these people, and they sit there and go, "Well, they all have to have their due process to be sent back." I I don't know how many immigration judges they have. I haven't looked it up, but there's not that many. The last I heard is they're out like 8 to 10 years on court dates for the ones that have stopped and gotten court dates. So, and this is for the ones that are seeking asylum. That's just asylum. So, what about the rest that just came across not even seeking asylum, but just came across just whatever? What are their court dates? What are they flooded the system so bad that if they if we have to give them all court dates and they're not going to show up, so that means they have to give them another one, and that's another how many years down the road? It's ridiculous. Send them back now. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say an illegal immigrant has to have due process. Nowhere. A citizen does, but it doesn't say it for an illegal immigrant. So send their butts back. President Trump is absolutely correct. He can send them back. He's in charge of the executive branch of the government. He can tell them to do it. He has the right. He's the executive. He can take the military and order the military. Take them, send them back. He's got ICE doing it. That falls under his authority. The Department of Justice is under the executive branch. He's doing what he's supposed to do. The courts have absolutely no jurisdiction under the executive branch. They have no, they cannot overrule him. They can't. They cannot stop him. They don't have the authority to do that. We have three equal branches of government. Which means one can't tell the other what to do and what not to do. So I'm sorry. The law is on President Trump's side. The Supreme Court's putting this temporary halt on this stuff. They're in the wrong. Big time. Justice Alito is 100% right in his dissension. Everybody is losing their freaking minds. The Democrats have totally lost it. Totally lost it. President Trump is doing things so fast that they can't even keep up with it because I mean they're just going. That's what they're doing. That's what they look like. Everything is protests. Well, we're back to the protests. How many protests did you see when Biden was president? I should say Biden because it wasn't Biden. It was Obama. It was his third term. That's why he had that damn office 2 blocks away from the White House. Biden was totally incapable of being president. That was a sham. It's like Obama being president. That was a sham. He wasn't eligible to be president. He was not born in this country. They still won't release the records, the real records. It's funny how everything that has to do with his life and his wife's life are all sealed. The records are all sealed. Now, how and why? Something fishy's there. That's why. Something is in there that says, I'm not eligible. Yeah, we knew. How do you go from Barry Soetoro to Barack Hussein Obama? Then why do you have a social security number from a state that's on the East Coast, but you were supposedly born in Hawaii? And you don't have a Hawaiian social security number? Yeah. Nothing about you is correct. You're just a big old liar. Always have been, always will be. and you think we're stupid enough to believe it. I have never believed you, just like Biden. Never believed him either. The Democrats have lied about everything. It ain't hard to figure out. I got. I had a friend that put a post on Facebook, and he said, read this article from the New York Times. It's very well written and it explains what's really going on. Of course, it was bashing Trump and blah blah blah. And I read the article. I absolutely read it. It was an opinion piece, of course. And yes, it was well written. And it said absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And of course, this friends were making comments. Oh man, that was absolutely correct. Yeah, s- well said. Well said. I couldn't have said it better. That's a great piece of writing right there. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, what are you people? How are you? What are you thinking? And how? There's nothing there. I mean, this is how our world is. Everybody has been so dumbed down. How? I mean, you look at what's on TV today. Look at these dumb shows on what was it? What's the damn example for TV? I'm trying to think of the name of the doggone network. It's supposed to be, oh God, back in the day it was totally different programming than what it is now. But anyway, yeah, it's got some some TV show about uh, love and lockup or something like that. It's somebody's in love with somebody in jail, and then or their life after they're locked up, they get out of jail, and then all this other. What the hell is that stuff? Oh, the Real Housewives of Atlanta or some kind of garbage like that. What is that? Why would anybody watch that? That is just plain stupid. I mean, stupid. And then there's this stuff on what is it? What is this on MTV? They got this one show about uh, um, oh God, I can't think of it. Um, no, it's like somebody being uh, a fake relationship type thing where you think you're talking to somebody else and that give you fake pictures and you think and it's just a chat session and you go to meet him, and it's not even, not a girl. Hell, not even it's a guy maybe or whatever. Who the hell you don't even know? Catfishing, or I think it is, or something like that. And what the hell is that about? Why would that even be watched? Oh, come on, people. Why would you watch that crazy stuff? I mean, that's not entertainment. Now I know Hollywood has no imagination left. I mean, that's easy to figure out. I mean, you look at what they're trying to put out there, and everything is a remake about something that was done 30 years ago, which was a remake of something that was done 30 years prior. I mean, it's a remake of a remake of a remake. I mean, how many times can you do a movie about Batman, Superman, whatever? I mean, it is crazy how bad Hollywood is. Um, Nobody has an original idea. Nobody. They can't come up with anything original. Everything is so woke that they're trying to, well, we can't offend this group, or we can't, offend that group. We got to watch what we say here. We can't do this. We can't do that. Oh my God! You watch an episode of Sanford and Son, but what I mean, one that's uncensored. Whoa. Uh, Watch a Dean Martin roast from back in the day, one of those that are uncensored. Oh my goodness. Especially with Don Rickles. Oh my God. the stuff he the stuff he used to say. Whoa. Um, I mean, it's it is just funny how bad uh, things have changed, and so that somebody out of the clear blue can decide what is supposedly hate speech and what is not. Like, uh, I mean, it's funny how that works. I haven't figured that one out yet either. I'm not sure I ever will. I just, I know what they want to claim what hate speech is. I mean, saying certain words or whatever. It's They can say whatever they want. The Democrats can say whatever they want. You know, they can call me whatever blast me, say, but you say something bad about the Democrats, or say something like, call them a name, and oh my God, you just, it's, you just unleashed hell. And it's sad. It's really sad. It's gotten that way. Um, it's got to change. It's got to change. And the young people, get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. Life is not easy. It's never been easy, and it never will be easy. Nobody owes you anything. The only thing that you were owed was your meals, education, and a roof over your head when you were growing up until you turned 18. Your parents owed you that. And after that, you're not owed anything. If you get something from your mom and dad after you're 18 years old, consider it a blessing and consider it an act of love because that's what it is. Uh, I just, I'm speaking from experience here because after I turned 18 years old, I didn't get anything. I had to earn it all on my own. Heck, I had to earn. I was 13 years old, and my high school class ring became available. They said, okay, you want this is the class rings, and if you want one, this is how much they are. My mom and dad didn't have the money for it. And I worked at my uncle's gas station every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 10 hours, and I was paid $10. And I pumped gas and helped in the service bay, doing whatever, changing spark plugs, whatever, to, checking air tires and whatever. And that's how I made my money to pay for my class ring. During the week, I was delivering newspapers for the Cleveland Press. That's how I met. I had to work for everything I had. I delivered papers. I started delivering papers for the Cleveland Press when I was 9 years old. That's when I had started working, when I was 9 years old. I have never gone. Let's see. I think the longest I've gone without a job is probably 8 months, 9 months. And that was in the early 80s when everything was locked down tight. You couldn't get a job. There was just no jobs to be had. Other than that, I've worked. I've worked my whole life. Now, I guess you can't really say I'm working now because I'm retired on a disability, on a forced disability. That's even worse. But at least I'm still here on this earth, and I still got a life. And that's how things are going. And that's how this episode is ending. All I know is we can change this, and it's easy to do. And we'll be talking more about this stuff as time goes on. I'm sitting making notes as the days go by. Oh God, I got I got to go through it all. As a matter of fact, I got so much in my computer, and we'll get through it. And I will be making some notes and uh, putting things in an order so I can actually talk about it and not get so far off subject like I do. Maybe that would make things a little better. I don't know. Maybe you like the way I do it now, and then I'm just speaking right off my head and stuff like that. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate everybody checking in like they do. Um, since Easter passed yesterday, happy Easter to everybody. I wanted to get one in before Easter. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But happy Easter to those of you that celebrate Easter. And I wish everybody, oh, and then happy Passover to those that celebrate Passover. Um, please, everybody, take care of yourselves. Watch out for one another. And God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. This is Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.